Good evening everyone and welcome along to this live webinar. It is the next in the series of the collaboration between Property Tribes and our friends and partners at Lendlord. And tonight we are going to be talking about how, thanks to the new Lendlord mobile apps, you can carry your portfolio in your pocket and run your property business from literally anywhere in the world, as long as you've got access to the internet. And Avram's joining me from Tel Aviv. Avram is the co-founder and CEO of Lendlord. And Avram, I think it's an interesting time to be having this webinar, because here in the UK, we're coming out of restrictions now. And there's a sense that some things are returning to normality. But I think a good place to start tonight would be to say that we have learned lessons from COVID-19. And I think that people should really heed those lessons, even if they believe that things are going to return to how they were before, which they probably won't, to be honest. I think there are some changes that are here to stay. COVID has taught us that digital is the way to go. It's here to stay, and that landlords really should think about adopting it to work in a much smarter fashion and perhaps, you know, mitigate risk going forward. We don't know what the next curveball might be for landlords. So that's why I think tonight's a good timing for this. I guess, you know, the mobile apps are the next kind of incarnation of Lendlord, really just to carry your portfolio in your pocket.
Yes, absolutely. So thanks, Vanessa, and hi, everyone. COVID definitely helped expediting the trend of moving more and more to digital tools. And our vision at Lendlord is to basically provide the entire functionality that will help landlords understand their data, be more organized, have everything in one place, understand the metrics of their properties, and also get insights that can help them be even better with what they do. And because of that, we have other tools like the deal analyzer that can also help you to mitigate risk. We have the finance app that can help you understand your finance options based on your profile, and many other things. And now everything is available on the mobile app. And the first version of the mobile app is basically, we just took the entire functionality in the mobile app, and we continue to enhance it to add more features and to add more tools that is even more mobile friendly. So the deal analyzer is now, we're working on like another version for it, just for mobile, and perhaps also for other tools. So it's very exciting for us. We were waiting, our users know that we were waiting a lot of time to Apple to approve the app. It's a process, a lot of back and forth. And finally we got the approval. So now the app is available on iOS, and in addition to the Android app that we already have.
So let's move on now to what tonight's webinar is all about. It is about the iOS app, and Avram is going to demonstrate, I believe, on his phone. Is that right, Avram?
Yes.
And give you some ideas of how to use the new functionality on the app.
Yes. So yeah. So tonight we will do the demo from my phone. So I'm going to share the screen of my iPhone. So first I want to show you how you can download the app. So go to your app store, search for Lendlord. And of course we will share the links on the chat after that. And then you can get the app to download and of course to open. So this is the app. We will go now over the functionality. First, you have the main dashboard. It's the same widgets that you have on your desktop available on your mobile. You just need to scroll down to see all the widgets that you used to see on your desktop. We'll go back to the dashboard after that, but I want to start first with your My Portfolio page. So in order to navigate in the app, you have the main menu on the top left side, the three rows. And here you have all the modules that are available on the desktop as well. The first one is the desktop, the dashboard. The second one is My Portfolio. And I will click on My Portfolio. And then this is the view, the mobile view of My Portfolio. You can see in terms of the summary, you have only two metrics, number of properties and properties value, but you can click on the arrow and you will receive all the rest of the metrics. On top of the summary, you have the filters. So those are like the same filters you have on desktop. So you can filter out all the properties and select only one if you want to work with one or two, or let's select everyone. You have the different ownerships here. So I can deselect the ownerships, just work on the company properties, or deselect the company and work on my private properties. And I can also filter by owner. So I want to see just Ben's properties or Kate's properties. Now, in order to enter into the data of each property, you have on this table rows for each property. When I click on the row on the right side, I can see the property details. And here it's like the sidebar that you have on the desktop version. So you just need to click on the blue links to hide or to show the different sections. So I will hide all of them, just like to show you like the different segments. So I have the general segment with the address, purchase price, ownership, etc. The second one is the mortgage section, where you can see all the your mortgage data, the interest rate, the lender, the expiry date, etc. And then you have the other sections. You have the property details, the insurance section, gas certificate, etc. So basically, everything that is available on your desktop will be also on your mobile. If you want to go back to My Portfolio, just click on the arrow. Then you can go to other property. If you want now to edit data, just click on the field. I want to update the property value, click done. And click done on the top right of the screen to save the details of this property. And you can see that it was changed. So you can also edit the data on the mobile version. So if it's easy for you to do it, you're welcome. But I find the mobile app more like to see the data, less to edit it here. But if you want, you can also add new property by clicking on add property, and then the same form will be open just with empty fields. You need to put all the fields here and then store the details by clicking on done. So this is My Portfolio. And let's go to the next page. Unless Vanessa, you want to add something, or you have any questions, feel free to stop me. Okay, so I'm going now to the next screen. This is the My Tenants. Again, I open the menu and I click on the icon of the people here. This is the screen of My Tenants. So here, it's very similar to my portfolio, the same view. You can see the list of the tenants here. And on each tenant, we store like the presentation is just two fields, the name and the property. And if you click on the arrow, you can drill down into the details of this tenant. You can see the tenant details fields, the tenancy details fields, and the security fields. I click on the arrow to go back to my tenants page. Here again, I can see the summary, the expanded summary if I click on the arrow, and I can also apply the filters here, the same I did on my portfolio. And again, you can also add a tenant from the mobile. Just type the details and click actions, save changes. This is an alert because I didn't put all the details, so there was no payment schedule that was created. So it's alerted me, but that's okay. Now the next step is to go to the rent collection. So in the rent collection, basically, and by the way, this demo is also following the steps that if you set up an account. So the first step is to add a property. After that, add a tenant. After that, go to the rent collection and see that you have the payment schedule created. So here in the rent collection, I can also apply filters. If I want to see just one tenant, or I want to see all of them, I can also filter by property. And I can also filter just, I want to see just the due payments, or just the overdue, or just the paid payments. So this is the rent collection. And let's continue. Unless you have any questions so far?
No, we don't have any questions specific to the mobile apps. Gary has just said it's good to see that it's on Android as well. That was the original launch, and he's kindly added a link to the chat to the App Store for that. So no, that's all good. Nobody's got any specific questions yet. Thank you, Avraham.
Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks, Gary, for sharing the link. So let's continue. So after my tenants, I will skip the transactions for now. This is the fourth option. I want to go first to the profit and loss page. So if you're already a landlord user that set up his account, on the profit and loss page, you can see your net cash flow, monthly income, and this is for the current month. Below the chart, you can see the historical years. So if you maintain the data historically, you can see it when you tap on the years below the chart. Let's go back to 2021. So from the profit and loss, you have all the links that are available on the desktop. So if you want to take a look on the expenses breakdown page to see like on what you spend your cash for all properties or for a specific property or subset of properties, you can do it here. You can also play with the dates. So if I want to see since March, and I can also filter out specific categories. It's deselect, and then I want to suggest on landlord insurance. And if you scroll down, you will see all the expenses. And you can also upload a receipt by clicking on the upload on this expense. Then we have now an issue that if you want to take a photo, it's not working. It even might crash the app. So we will fix it hopefully next week. The other way to do it is just like to take the picture not through the app and click on the photo library and then go to the receipt, click done. Will take a few seconds. And you see now the attachment. Yeah, sorry that I think that, okay, I can show. I'm trying to highlight what I'm with my fingers. I'm not sure if you see it or not, but here basically you can see the sign of the attachment. And this is that means that you uploaded the receipt successfully. And currently, if you want to watch the receipt or to download it, you can do it from the desktop. It will be available also on the app, but it's also an announcement that we still need to do. So this, if you already set up your profit and loss, income and expenses, you can view it in the profit and loss screen. But if not, let's do an example. How can I track new transactions from my mobile? So I will go to the transactions page. So in the transactions page, I will see the recent transactions that came in to Lendlord. Now, if you link your bank account to Lendlord, automatically the platform will retrieve new transactions every day for you. So you will always see them on the transactions page. You will also get a notification when you log in. And you will get a summary also to your email every week of the new transactions that came in. So this is one way. If you didn't link your bank account, you can add the transaction manually by clicking on the add transaction. And then basically you can just update the details here. Is it expense or income or a purchase cost? Purchase cost means that it's something that you don't want to track on an ongoing basis on the property cash flow. It's something that you want to attribute to the entire purchase cost of the property. It can be like a refurbishment that you do or any other cost that related to the purchase of the property. So you can classify it as a purchase cost. Here, do it like as an income. Description, it can be rent from John. And then I have a new transaction. But if I already have transactions on the account, so for instance, this I see on the 1st of July, the last one, yeah, I received an income. A description is LN rent. Now I just need to allocate this transaction. So I will select the property. So Ellen lives in 32 Milestone Road. Then I need just to select the payment. So this is the payment for July, £500. And the next thing is to click on the bottom left icon to allocate the transaction. So I click on it, and then the transaction will be disappears from the transactions page, but I can now see it on, let's save the new transaction. I can see it on two places. So it was tracked on my profit and loss. So I will go to monthly income, I will select 32 Milestone Road. I click edit and I can see that Ellen rent was tracked on my profit and loss. The second place that I will find it is on, I'm going to my tenants, click on rent collection, and then I will see that Ellen, here it's with 2L, paid 500 on 1st of July. And when I see the icon left to the name, it means that this transaction was tracked on the profit and loss as well. So the best way to track transactions, by the way, on Lendlord is from the transactions page. So you can track income and expenses. So this was like one example for rent. Let's do one example for expense. So I received the expense from Barclays, 220 pounds. Just need to allocate it to the right property. And again, by the way, when the transaction is yellow, it means that it's ready to be allocated, that you put all the right details. Then I click again on the icon of in the left side of this box at the bottom. I click on it, it disappeared from the transaction. Now I have only two. And again, I will go to the profit and loss page. And now I click on monthly expenses, edit, and you can see, let's just, of course, select 32 Milestone. And you can see the Barclays expense of 220 tracked on my profit and loss page for this property. Then I will go to the expenses breakdown. I will select this property. And I can see that in July, I have only one expense, 220, and this will be the mortgage payment. Okay, so this was like an example how you can track income and expenses from the mobile app. This is the iOS app, but in Android, it's the same experience. Yeah, questions till now? Vanessa, you have something or you want to add something? Or should we get going?
Sorry, I've just lost my little button off my computer there. We've had a question from Lucy. She says, could you add building insurance info? That's already on there, isn't it? You can put in the info for your building insurance for freehold property. Obviously, if it's leasehold, the building insurance will be included in your service charge. And there are other types of insurance you might want, like rent guarantee insurance or landlord public liability insurance, which I always have those three myself. I think they're absolutely the bare minimum that you should have. And you can add those with an individual field, can't you, Abraham?
Yes, just go to the My Portfolio page. I will do it again. Click on the arrow, go to the insurance section, and here you can put the details of your policy. But of course, you can also track it as an expense. Once you do it on My Portfolio, the platform, when you set up your profit and loss, will ask you if you want to use it also on ongoing basis, unless you track it from your bank account, and then you will just track it when you see the transaction from the insurance company. But if you use our automation, and also you can copy to the historical tracking of your transactions, so it will take it automatically from here. We currently support monthly, and but on the profit and loss, you can take it as an annual income. So just track it if annual expense. So if you pay the insurance on an annual basis, just track it on the month that you paid, or if you link your bank account, you receive it on the payment date, and then track it to the right property.
Mm-hmm. Lucy also wanted a field for how much lease is left on a leasehold property. So that's an interesting one, because it's kind of easy if you don't have that information right from the day that you acquire the property. Time can go by, and that one can slip past you. So I think that's a good suggestion, which we'll discuss with Avram after the webinar. Sorry, Avram.
We have this feature.
Oh, you do? Sorry, I didn't know that was on there. How long the lease remaining is?
Yes, you just
okay. Yeah.
Years left on lease, and then you can put it. So if you want to update the lease details, again, go to My Portfolio, edit the property, and then on the property details field, this section, you will have the tenant type. So you can choose if it's a freehold or is a leasehold. If it's a leasehold, you will get a question, years left on lease, and here you can put the right number. And on the desktop version, if we have time in the end, perhaps I can show it, you can create your own views. So you can see that on My Portfolio, for each property, we keep so many details. This is just because you have so many details on each property that you need to know. You can also upload all the documents on the desktop version. The best way to handle it is to create views on the desktop version, and then you can basically see just the details that you want in different views. So you can create a view just for your leasehold, just for due dates, for compliance details, for insurance, etc. There are some predefined views that we already prepared for you. So it's definitely something that if we have time, it's worth to show in the end.
Okay. I think what we can take away from the demo is how efficient it is to operate on the go. If you've been down to your local shed and bought some bits and pieces for a bathroom upgrade or something, you can literally just zap your receipts there and then and load them into your Lendlord mobile app. And I think that's, we often see landlords with, boxes full of receipts and things. That's the old way of doing things. That's the analog way of doing things. The digital way is far more efficient. It's far more secure. You're not going to lose bits of paper or documents for whatever reason, because it's all stored in the cloud. And you can kind of just work on the go, can't you, Avram? I guess everybody has their own way of doing things, and your own little routines. And it's really just a case of familiarizing yourself, with the app, and starting to try and use it on a daily basis. And then before you know it, it will just be like second nature to you. This is the same for all, digital products that I've personally ever had any interaction with. As soon as I've kind of got over the hump of learning them, I just won't go back. I can't do without them. So I don't think I can remember the last time that I logged onto my bank account on my desktop. I can literally do everything on my banking app, and I do it, and it's such an efficient way to work. So I don't know if we've got any further questions.
Okay.
Ian's asking, do auditors have access to financial and documentation at the end of the financial year?
In terms of tax returns, you mean? Or
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so we've just a few weeks ago, we released the estimated profit and loss report. So I will show it on mobile. On desktop is perhaps more like on a table, so perhaps something that you can also download to Excel and send to your accountant. So if you maintain the categories by yourself, and this is something that you can do, I will show how. So when you will go to the transactions page, so I have this expense. I can select the category that I want. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, we need to fix that. I will show it from. So yeah, I think we have a bug on the categories on the transactions page. We will fix that, but you can do it also from here. I will go to monthly expenses, click edit, and then I can classify the mortgage payment as mortgage costs. But if it was like another, like a different expense, I can choose a category, a different category. And I can also change the category names. So basically you can create your own category list. By clicking the pencil, you can decide the name of each category. So let's say a new category. You can select also the color and save. You can see now we have new category. Okay. Now, if I'm not happy with the other categories, I can just click on the pencil and click delete. So you can delete all the categories that you don't use, and you can change the name if you want to name it differently. And then after you change the categories, you classify the expenses on the right categories, you can go to this link on the top of this, the third link, estimated profit and loss report. So on the mobile, the presentation is like, it's a box for each basically income or expense. So if I look at 65 London Mall, the total incomes for this period on the top for April 6th to May 4th is 6,000 each. And those are the categories. So you see how much I spend in maintenance, mortgage cost, repairs, another, what is the net profit and what is the estimated net profit after tax. And on the desktop is available on like a table for all properties together. And if you maintain different categories, you can just download it and send it to your accountant. And the next step is we're going to connect it to the Making Tax Digital. So you can also file your tax returns at some point automatically. So hope it.
Okay. Nick is asking, he has an HMO with 9 units. They're all flats, 5 share 2 bathrooms, but they all have their own gas and electric meters. How would this be recorded? Would it be one house with individual rooms, or would each flat have to be inputted as an individual unit?
So I would recommend to create one property on my portfolio. I click it on the arrow. I will go to the property details fields. I will classify it as an HMO property. Then I will receive the HMO license due date. And if I put a due date here, I put like, just want to put like a close date to show you after that the notification. Then I will receive notification when it's time to renew the license. I will put the number of units. Click done. I will save this property. And then on my tenants, where you manage the tenancies, I would create the 6 different rooms. So here I have an example below. You see room 1 and room 2. So here I can basically manage the tenancies for this HMO property with the tenant's name, the tenant's details. So I would do it like one property on the My Portfolio page with all the details of the purchase cost, the mortgage on the HMO, etc. And on my tenants, I will put 6 different tenants with their tenancies details. So in the rent collection, I will also have 6 different entities so I can track the rent for them.
Is there any limit to how many rooms you can add to the HMO? Because some, we obviously there are some kind of super HMOs that have 16 or 20 rooms. Is there any limit, Abraham?
No,
No. Okay, that's good. Keith would like to know, when you're adding a mortgage, is there the functionality to add part interest only and part repayment? So obviously a capital repayment mortgage is part interest, part repayment, and it does have that functionality, doesn't it? Avram can give you a quick demo of that.
Should have this. So you go to repayment method, and you can decide if it's a mixed repayment. And then you need to put what is the amount on interest only out of the entire amount of the mortgage. So this is the way to track it. So let's say that you have, so you need to put the total. So the capital and interest repayments will be on the current mortgage balance, and the amount on interest only will take the rest. So you can track it. We don't have a lot of cases like this, I think, but perhaps we should add, like to split also the current mortgage balance. So perhaps we can enhance this, but currently you can at least say that this is a mixed repayment and how much you have on interest only from this, from the entire current mortgage balance.
I hope that answers your question, Keith. And of course, anybody that needs, excuse me, a bit of extra support, there's lots of different ways to get that. You can go on the chat bot on the Lendlord website. You can use Avram's Calendly to book an individual session with him where he can guide you through the use of the platform and any particular issues that you're struggling with. He can assist with that. And obviously you can ask your questions on property tribes, lots of different ways to get any support that you need. And I think, it's interesting, we were talking about risk mitigation at the beginning of this webinar. And one of the significant risks to landlords is non-compliance. And legislation and regulation is changing on a regular basis. We've had things like the stamp duty holiday and then the stamp duty tapering. The great thing about digital tools, and definitely the case in Lendlord, is that as soon as we become aware of any changes in legislation, in stamp duty, in taxation, anything like that, the app and the platform can be immediately updated to reflect those changes. So Avram, I think that's an important point, don't you, that there's an element of risk mitigation here, because Lendlord is actually helping you keep up to date with any changes that are occurring in the sector. Even if you weren't aware of them, it would automatically be there in the functionality.
Yes, so if there is something new that we identify that we need to add as an alert, it will be added to the platform. Usually we'll announce it. But you have I think that the sections on my portfolio that also can be like, okay, I need to input this data as well. And once you, let's say compliance, okay, so if you update the EPC, of course, you update the certificate numbers, but you can also update the certificate itself as a document and store it on Lendlord. But most important thing is the due dates. So the due dates are if you go from the menu to the insights page, you see the action required tab is all the upcoming or expired due dates. So you see that in June 22, I had an EPC renewal. You have gas safety certificate, HMO license renewal. You can also get a reminder if you want to do a midterm property inspection. The insurance end date, tenancy agreement, mortgage product expiry will be there as well. EICR, all of the relevant things that you need to be aware of. Any key event you can track. The way to do it is, again, on my portfolio, when you edit the property, go to the relevant section, put the end date here, and then it will create an alert automatically for you when you save the property.
Mm.
Then you will get a notification to your email. You can, on the settings page, you can define, I'll go to the settings. If I want to receive due date notifications before end date, then I can, okay, I want 30 days and 3 days before. And save this, and then you receive the notifications to your email. You will also, just for the 3 months, you have the alerts. The alerts also contain payment overdue. So we showed the rent collection in the beginning. If there is an overdue, you will receive also notification. And if you go to the insights page, on the action required tab, you will see the specific event, and then it can be also with suggestions what to do. So if you have, I don't have an example here now, but if your mortgage expiry date, you will see also the options of the mortgages. And Vanessa, perhaps you can just like spend like 2 minutes on the mortgage search on the mobile, just like to cover this, and then basically it's the entire, almost the entire demo. So just to see, if you want to see now your mortgage options based on your portfolio, there are 2 places to see it. For my portfolio, go to the first link, available lenders. So you can see the aggregation of your mortgages. You can see the interest cover ratio. So you don't necessarily need to understand exactly the numbers, but this is something that the lenders, they stress test the portfolio before they give you, they can basically accept your case. Then you can see the list of lenders that are available for you, the list of lenders that don't, and what is the reason. And you can also play with the applicants. So if I apply with a partner, I might have a different situation. And the second place is from the menu, go to mortgage search. And here you can basically find a specific case. For instance, here I want to purchase a property, the property value, the expected rent, and you can see results from many buy-to-let lenders. So what are like the current rates? And this is after we run an assessment if you are eligible to this mortgage or not, based on the data that you have on Lendlord. So the engine scans your portfolio, stresses the portfolio, and also the specific case. And you can also run a remortgage options, just switch to remortgage, and then select the property that you want to remortgage, and then run the search.
Mm.
Let's add the years. And you will get the new results based on the rates that are now available on the market.
Definitely worth reiterating that the Lendlord Finance Hub is regularly updating with all the latest buy-to-let products out there. And in the last couple of weeks, for instance, we've seen the return to 85% loan to value. Very often these are limited edition mortgages. They have a certain tranche of money that they can put towards that particular product, and when it's gone, it's gone. So being on the kind of cutting edge of technology, blending all of these things together really does give you the edge, because you will immediately know if there's a new product out there that may help you do something you were trying to do that you couldn't previously do. And I think also, Avram, you know, it's amazing the low rates that are out there at the moment as well, that they continue to decrease. There's been some rate reductions this week by some big lenders. And there's another kind of interesting trend which is developing, which is lenders that are favouring green properties, or those properties that have a high energy efficiency. And this is all to do with the EPC legislation that's coming in 2025, where it will, as of 2025, you will not be able to advertise a property for let with an EPC of less than C. So again, risk mitigation, if you know that you've got properties with low EPC ratings, that's something that you should be starting to think about now, whether you can improve the EPC or maybe it's time to you know, dispose of that property. These are kind of the things that you can think about and plan as a result of the data that you've got at your fingertips with Lendlord.
Yes, Vanessa, it's very important, and we just added this. I moved to the desktop version just to show the what we've added to the deal analyzer. So we are now fetching the EPC level of a property. So we just need to type the address, and we will fetch it automatically, and also the property type, the total floor area. So then you can see if you now look at the property, if it's below certain level, you might need to add some cost to the analysis, because then you need to be, in order to improve the level of the EPC. So it's also something new that we've just added. You just need to type an address. It really depends on the address, but yeah, so we use like the CF. You can also, when you hover over the information icon, you can see the certificate number and the expiry date of this EPC. So this is something.
Lucy's asking about making tax digital and if a Lendlord will be able to integrate with that. The answer is that's something that is still being worked on, Lucy. We don't have the integration yet. It's quite a lengthy process to go through to integrate into MTD, as it's a government thing, and anything to do with the government takes a long time. So you can rest assured that the Lendlord team is working on that, and you know, it's in the pipeline. And I think part of the benefit of these webinars is that we can flag up things that are coming down the pipe to landlords, such as the EPC changes. And it's interesting, Avram, I've spoken to quite a few portfolio landlords in the last couple of weeks, and almost all of them had not heard or were not aware of these EPC issues coming in 2025. So it's always good to combine what goes on Lendlord with some educational information to make sure everybody is up to speed. Because you don't want to go and let a property in 2025 and then it would get rejected from the portals because it didn't have a high enough EPC rating. So that's something that is worth considering. If you're not really aware of this legislation, you can go and swat up on it on Property Tribes and then check all your properties to see what their rating is and then make some decisions based on that. Ian's asking quite a few questions privately. Ian, probably the best thing is to book a Calendly appointment with Avaram and go through it, because you're asking some very, how can I say, niche questions that probably take up too much time, because we're just coming to the end now. So if you would like to book an appointment with Avaram on Calendly, we will provide the link on the chat in a second. I hope Nick can grab it for us. But that's the best thing to do, because everybody's going to have questions. Everybody's going to have a different way of doing things. Everybody's going to have different aspects of their portfolio. Some will be self-managing and will have to put in a lot more information than landlords that are maybe just using a fully managed service. So the great thing about Lendlord is that it's completely customizable to your landlord life, and you can use it in whichever way works for you, and I think we've given a good demonstration of that this evening in the time that we've had. So you can see that you can personalize it to you, and there may be things that are more relevant to you than another landlord that you want to include, and you can do so. There's opportunity, as Avram said, to create your own fields, your own colors, and so on, and just customize it so that it works for you. Okay, Chris is saying it would be good if you could ring the tenant's phone number from the tenant's details. That's an interesting one. So maybe we can put a live link to the phone number in the.
Nice. Like to create it as yeah, we can. It's not a problem. Like
yeah, there you go, Chris. you have been responsible for an upgrade of Lendlord. That's why these calls, they're so helpful to the Lendlord team as well, because it really is helping us see what matters to you and the features that you want to see and the functionality that you want to see as well. So thank you for everybody for joining us this evening. Thank you for putting your comments on the chat. Of course, as we've said, you have got options to contact the Lendlord team via the chat bot and also via the Calendly. So any closing words, Avram?
Just again, you can schedule a call with me with the calendar link we put on the chat, and feel free to use the chat bot on the app if you, we're trying to answer quickly. Not all the time we can, but we are trying. Or use the tribe on Property Tribes also to raise questions. And yeah, we'd love to get your feedback and to keep enhancing the platform for you. So thank you for joining the webinar today, and thanks, Vanessa.
Yeah, excellent. All right, well, that's it for this webinar. Just echo what Avram said, thank you to everybody for joining us over the past hour. And, you know, these are going to be continuing these educational webinars as the collaboration between Property Tribes and Lendlord continues. But for this evening, we wish you the very best rest of your evening, and we'll see you hopefully on Property Tribes or indeed Lendlord very soon. But for now, good night.
Good night. Thank you, Vanessa. Bye-bye.
Bye.